Hi guys, how you doing? Welcome to part 2 of my carbon fiber sheeting method. I'm sorry guys for sticking this sheet on without walking you through the process, but I can still talk you through it and explain to you how it's done. So if you watched part 1 of this method, you now know how I cure this sheet beforehand before I actually install it on my desired surface. Now I'm gonna talk you through how it's done. As you can see, the surface here is imperfect, yeah? But you can't tell on judging by looking on the carbon fiber itself. If you were to use the standard wet layup method of just taking your carbon fiber cloth and just epoxying it directly on your surface, you wouldn't get anything near or close to what I got with this finish right here. As you can see, it looks pretty good. You can see my shine here. You don't see any of those bumps or high or low spots that you'd see when directly carbon fiber sheeting. See, looks pretty nice. None of those nasty low and high spots and bumps that you'd usually get. Just getting a better view so you could have a look. You will still have imperfections, but nothing like you would get if you were to just directly lay it on the surface. As you can see, it becomes very forgiving. It gives you this nice round curvature, this nice round shape. You will still have imperfections that need to be filled in, but nothing, and I mean nothing like it would be if you were to directly like cover this. Now what do you want to do? What do you want to do once it's all dried and you got it off the board? Next, what you want to do is you want to keep in mind which side is the mold side and which side was the epoxy side when you took it off the board. This side is the mold side. This is where your mold release would have been wiped on. So this is the nicer side, okay? So you want this side sticking out, and you want the epoxy side going inward. So like, I'm gonna talk to you about a method that I use that some people might not agree with, but you know, to each their own. It works with me, so I don't really care. But now that you got it off the board and you want to stick it on, you could use epoxy resin and just brush epoxy resin on this side and just stick it on. These edges right here, they will not want to stick in place. What I used is just a bit of hot glue on the very edge, just a tiny bit, to hold, and I held it in place until the hot glue dried, to glue on the edge, and do it all the way until all the edges stick on, so that your epoxy dries. Now, an important thing that I want to talk to you about is when you've actually stuck this on, like this goes against conventional carbon fiber wet layup thinking. Usually what you want to do is push everything in and press everything in so that everything sticks neatly to the surface underneath. In this case, it's a no-no. You don't follow that methodology. In this case, all of your carbon fiber and all of the fibers have been soaked through with epoxy. It's all cured, okay? All you want is a nice shape. So when you initially stick it on, don't stick it on by pressing in the middle or here or there. Try to only stick it on using the corners, so it naturally follows the curvature and shape that you want, okay, without following any of the imperfections underneath, okay? And wherever it could glue on, it will naturally glue on underneath, and wherever the imperfections are underneath, it won't follow, which is a good thing. And even if you can feel that it's not stuck on underneath in certain areas, like here, doesn't matter, leave it. In a second, I'll explain what happens later. It's not a problem at all, but do not, I repeat, do not push or press it in to initially stick it on. Use the corners to stick it in place, to just let it naturally follow the curvature, and once you initially stick it on using the corners, you'll see that it will give you a really nice shape, and you want that shape to remain there. So don't try to follow any of the imperfections underneath. I know with a wet layup, you've got to press it all in because the epoxy has got to soak into the carbon fiber, but in our case, we've already cured it. It's all soaked in, so there's no need to do that. In a second, you'll find out what happens to the spots that have not stuck on underneath. There's no issues with that at all. So in a second, you'll find out. Now look, when you use this method, you might run into something. You might get air pockets underneath, like where the carbon hasn't stuck to the surface below. Yeah? And you might think, oh, that's a problem. What could I do from here? I always like to use the KISS method, K-I-S-S, which is keep it simple, stupid. It's not that big of a deal. And in my case, it's just in this one spot, okay? What you can do from here is you could use a second layer of carbon fiber or fiberglass, and it will stiffen up to the point of where you can't do this no more, okay? And like, especially like some people they empty out all the foam inside, you know, and it doesn't matter what's left inside. So you could actually use multiple layers of composites here and then empty this all out, and it doesn't matter if it's not stuck on. You'll still have a nice rigid surface here that won't do this, and all the foam will be emptied out, so it won't matter. Or on the other hand, in my case, I'm not actually gonna get rid of any of the foam because it took me months and months to design and build a very lightweight foam build on the inside, which is very lightweight. The plane is gonna be divided into 3 sections. It is actually divided into 3 sections right now, and you could pick up each section with one hand easily. It's that light. So to me, I'm not getting rid of the foam on the inside. I'm gonna use a thin layer of composites here, and it won't provide any structural integrity or rigidity. Its main purpose is to provide a durable top layer that's not gonna be damaged by carrying, moving, transportation, and could be easily painted. That's it. I want a nice and durable paintable surface. So in my case, I'm gonna leave all the foam inside, and it's gonna be reinforced with spars on the inside. So in my case, in either case, whether you empty it out or whether you decide to leave it in, this is not gonna make any difference. Like, believe me, like even if it is in my case, like I'm sticking with the foam, what's gonna happen is this is all gonna be filled in. Once it's filled in, this goes away, and this is only in one spot. Everywhere else it's perfectly fine. Once you apply filler, it's gonna stiffen up, and all this is gonna do is, like I said, provide a nice paintable and durable surface. In my case, with my build. And again, I can't stress this enough. Like, people Always try and complicate things. Always use the KISS method, which is keep it simple, stupid. You don't have to overcomplicate, overthink, overdo things. Sometimes the simplest of ways are the best of ways. Like where I grew up, it is commonly said if someone asks you to reach for your ear, you're gonna reach for your nearest ear. You're not gonna reach around your head for your farthest ear. So same methodology applies here. Sometimes the simplest and most direct pathways are the best. Thank you for watching my video, and once I'm done carbon fiber sheeting everything, I'll post more videos. Thank you.